There was something more than just light. You're dealing with an extension of time, compressed into one frame. Because it's a nocturnal activity, and because I can't have any light pollution, I'm kind of erasing man's footprint somehow. Everything takes place in camera. And what happens, obviously, because the moon moves during the exposure, which is your light source, your shadows are dissipating, the shadows are kind of removed. So this is a book containing pretty much all my full moon work in the past almost 20 years. And this was the first 15-minute moon. Out of curiosity, I wondered if I applied maybe like a 15-minute exposure, would I get an image back? And I discovered there was an image, and it was kind of startled me because it was an image full of colour. The second I did for my mother. She was a big fan of Constable. It was on every placemat in Wigan, in the CAFs. I'm actually in this one. That's me hiding in a ditch taking another photo. So this is actually shot in Fukushima before the tsunami, but the night when I was there, a tsunami came in. There we go. They look, like clouds of mist, but that was quite a ferocious evening. And these massive breakers coming in on the coast. You know, you make one trip, you don't understand the kind of landscape that you're in somehow. So I always have to keep going back. And you go back and you look at it again in a different way. These two photographs come from the Civil Dawn series. Civil Dawn is the time before sunrise, for about 15-20 minutes when the sun's 7 degrees below the horizon. You get this kind of blue light. It's a beautiful light to photograph. So I was able to get hold of a lot of old 8x10 Polaroid. And I went to Giverny, to Monet's garden, and have photographed the garden over a couple of years by the light of Civil Dawn. Because obviously there's a lifespan to Polaroid, what I'm looking at now is scanning the Polaroids every 5 years, so that that moment gets stretched again, because there's this inference of time through all the works. The act of drawing is the act of thinking. I mean, that's carte blanche. I have to draw because when you're drawing, you can think through, in and around the subject. You can also think about other work whilst you're drawing. And I suppose it's a space between the analogue and digital that I'm thinking about as I'm making these numerical paintings. I generate many panels, and I work on them over a period of time and wait until I find a certain kind of balance within the compositions. The zeros become very key in the paintings. Without a zero, you won't be able to understand anything in the universe. It's the most important number. And you have to apply that to mathematics because you need a balance with every formula. And I kind of like that equilibrium that's generated by nothing. So you have to understand nothing in order to be able to understand anything.